Hey, it's the champ Antonio Tarver, and you're listening to Tarver's Take, the most informative take in boxing. Just remember where you heard it first. Hey, I want to jump right out the gate, man, and highlight Jaron Boots Ennis, 34-0 with 30 knockouts. He's one of those guys, man. I think one of the most talented, gifted fighters that we have in the game today. He's facing unknown, unheralded uh, Uisma Lima, 13-1 with 10 knockouts. And I believe he's the current IBO Super Welterweight Champion, but the WBA Interim Super Welterweight Championship is on the line in this contest. And like everybody say, who's Lima? Man, Lima is a guy, he's an Angolian coming in with a 13-1 record, lost, I believe, in 2024. And in that fight, I thought it was a close contest. Both guys was exchanging, but they gave it to the young man, McKinney, I believe. Yes, McKinney. They gave it to McKinney. Very close fight. I don't think it was a knockdown in that fight, but both guys looked like they needed some development and some work. But since then, Lima has gone on and faced, out of his last five opponents, four of those guys, his last three have all been undefeated. You know what I mean? He got the win over a couple guys. It was the win against Shavante Koopman. He won a TKO in the 9th round, and that's the one I believe he won the IBO championship in. You feel me? But a fringe contender nonetheless, even though he has this title. 14-1 with 10 knockouts, and he's facing his toughest opponent to date for sure, as he moves steps way up in class and faces one of the hottest, like I said, hottest fighters in the game, Jaron Boots Ennis. But it's the guys that Boots continue to face, these non-descript type of guys. And, a lot of fans have been calling out for Boots, to face better known competition, bigger and better type fighters. You know what I mean? But everyone has a different maturation, bro. It's like, everyone is on their own time, slot. And when your time comes, then you want to be ready when your time comes. But if you're not ready, then there's no need, to just crash out. You feel me? So whatever they're doing, man, they're being smart about their moves. And you know what I'm saying? And but I believe it's important because there's pros and cons to everything. And when I look at this fight, a lot of people have been calling the tune-up. They've been labeling it a tune-up. Well, if that's in fact what it is, a tune-up, somebody, should have told Lima, man, because, when you give a guy like this an opportunity to be in the ring with a guy of the talent of a Jaron Boots Ennis, you got one shot to get it right. So we know Lima is going to be coming in, man, with everything. He looks like he got a good build on him. He is a, natural 154-pounder. So that strength might be there. And when I look at him on tape, man, it looks like he got a good chin. I think that's what really allowed him to beat these guys. He's able to take a shot and he come right back with his shots. You know what I mean? Don't look like he's one of those guys he's a sharpshooter, like that, where he's going to be placing these shots right where they need to be. It looks like, he's throwing these punches, he's throwing these shots, really don't have GPS on them. Don't know where they're actually going, but, with this activity, you know what I mean? He can put hands on you. So with this fight, the pros and cons is, if this is supposed to be a tune-up fight, then it's important that Jaron Boots Ennis make it look just like that, a tune-up fight. He has to show levels in this fight. It's going to have to show separation. And that's where you can get yourself, caught up overlooking these quote-unquote tune-up fights. And then you find yourself in a life or death type of match. You know what I mean? And that's not the type of fight Jaron Boots Ennis wants to have this fight and any other fight. You feel me? Because you want to always be 2-3 steps ahead of your opponent, man, when it comes to preparation. I know he's moving up very fast. I thought once Crawford left the welterweight division, that it was a division for Boots Ennis to really, put a stake in. When you're looking at guys that around and in and around that weight class, that Norman fight would have been tremendous. Even the win out of the Norman and Haney fight would have been tremendous. But, I thought it was a perfect opportunity for him if he could have maintained that weight. to really show some dominance in that welterweight division. Maybe become undisputed there. You know what I mean? Before moving up, because man, they had some really big names in and around that weight. Teofimo Lopez. I could have thought just a lot of fighters that could have been, what you would call marquee type of fights. And these are the type of marquee type of fights that we're looking forward to seeing, Jaron Boots Ennis in, man. And if he can look good, go viral, do something crazy in this fight, you know what I'm saying? Then those rumbles of maybe Bud Crawford probably still could be heard. But after the Bud Crawford, masterful display against Canelo, that kind of quieted down. And I thought, if they would have even matched up back then, I thought that mental strength, the mental focus Bud Crawford had would have been, gave him a big edge in that type of fight. And I believe that mental thing is always going to be something I believe Boots going to have to be proving that he's, developing, man, along the way as he continued to showcase his talents. Don't miss it this weekend on DAZN. Eddie Hearn Matchroom Boxing will be putting on that fight. And congrats to Eddie Hearn, man. We see he been moving and making plays. I heard him and Rock Nation, they announced they had a big partnership or some type of collaboration. And I hope that means, great things for boxing to come. You know what I mean? But if Boots is to look good and go to 35-0 and maybe 31 knockouts, he's in it. He's 28 years old. I believe he's in his peak prime right now. So right now would be a great time to really be challenging himself, man, really putting that talent and that skill set on display. You know what I mean? If he's successful, it's a lot of big names in around that 154-pound division, a few major fights that are taking place in the next month or two. You feel me? The young gun, Xander Zayas, man, he, is the young gun of the crew, just won that championship, looked good winning that by decision. The monster in this division, I believe, is Bakram Martazelia, man. I believe he might be, the killer in this weight division, for real. Virgil Ortiz has his hands full against my guy, man, Erickson Lubin from Orlando. I think Erickson Lubin, man, a focused Erickson Lubin give any of these guys fits. And I think Virgil Ortiz may be overlooking, Lubin, because he's had, few ups and downs in the game. But sometime, man, you got to take a few steps back to move forward. And I believe he'll be facing a very focused, hungry Erickson Lubin. And Fundora in the 154-pound man seemed to have a stronghold on the division right now as he faced multi-time champion Keith Thurman coming up, man. That's going to be a heck of a fight. The new guy, Abbas Baru, man, Baru just had a good fight right here in Kissimmee, beating an upstart kid, and they thought, he was going to be the winner of that fight. But yeah, a lot of work. Virgil Ortiz, a lot of work in and around that 154-pound weight class, man. But it's this weekend. Jaron Boots Ennis, looks to put on a impressive performance facing Uisma Lima, a 14-1 guy with 10 knockouts, really unheralded, unknown. But we're going to see, can Jaron Boots Ennis make him look just like that? There you have it, man. You've been listening to Tarver's Take. Until the next time, stay tapped in, and I'll talk to you then.